Coming up on China Report, ASEAN and China's Hong Kong has concluded a free trade agreement to strengthen trade and economic relations. And China's State Post Bureau said at least 331 million packages were handled on Singles Day this year. Hello and welcome to this edition of China Report. I'm Zhang Zhao in Beijing. Chinese President Xi Jinping, also General Secretary of the Communist Party of China's Central Committee, has arrived in Laos for a state visit. It marks the first visit in 11 years by a Chinese head of state and top CPC leader to this neighboring country in Southeast Asia. Xi is scheduled to meet with General Secretary of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party Central Committee and President of Laos, Lao Prime Minister, and President of the Lao National Assembly. Vientiane is a final leg of Xi's first overseas trip after the 19th CPC National Congress, which was held last month. ASEAN and China's Hong Kong on Sunday concluded a free trade agreement to strengthen trade and economic relations. They also signed a related document to facilitate trade and investment.
The agreements are aimed at providing ASEAN and Hong Kong better access to markets, creating new business opportunities, and enhance trade and investment flows between the two sides. Edward Yao, the Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development of Hong Kong, said the agreements will also help reduce restrictions in conducting business and expand opportunities for Hong Kong enterprises. ASEAN is Hong Kong's second largest trading partner in merchandise trade and the fourth largest in services trade. They began the negotiations on the free trade and investment agreements in 2014. The announced negotiations have been concluded in September this year. The agreements are expected to come into force on January 1st, 2019 at the earliest.
China's State Post Bureau said at least 331 million packages were handled by the country's postal and courier companies on Singles Day, which fell on Saturday. It shows an increase of 31.5% from last year. The number represents only some of the 850 million orders placed on Saturday. China's Singles Day, which is marked on November the 11th, became an online shopping event in 2009 when e-commerce giant Alibaba's Tmall began promotions. Alibaba sales this year hit over 168 billion yuan, up from 120 billion yuan in 2016. Besides, JD.com also started promotions at the beginning of this month, reporting over 127 billion yuan of orders. SPB Deputy Director Liu Jun said Singles Day is a challenge for the logistics sector in both order volume and service quality. The SPB expects the number of packages handled between November the 11th and 16th to hit 1.5 billion, up 35%. The daily volume could be as much as 3 times the Euro level. In Jordan, Chinese Cultural Week activities at the King Abdullah Center in Zakka Governorate started on Sunday.
The activities were launched to mark the 40th anniversary of diplomatic ties between Jordan and China. Chinese ambassador to Jordan, Pan Weifang, said the Cultural Week provides an opportunity for the residents of Zakka Governorate to know more about the Chinese culture and the ties between the two sides. Several activities, including a children painting exhibition, a photo show, and Chinese film screenings, will be held over the next 7 days. A permanent Chinese cultural center is due to open in Amman soon.
In Dubai, the 15th edition of the biannual air show is stunning audiences. New Chinese performances are attracting attention at this year's event, the third largest such gathering.
China's Aviation Industry Corporation and Air Force acrobatic team are showing off their skills at this year's air show. The event kicked off on Sunday in Dubai, drawing in international turnouts of 160 commercial and military aircraft. Chinese Air Force's August 1st air demonstration team was invited to participate for the first time and will display their acrobatic skills with 7 J-10 aerobatic fighter jets. China's Aviation Industry Corporation is also bringing aircraft to the air show, including unmanned aero vehicles. The show, which is drawn around 1,200 exhibitors, is focusing on the future of travel, including space travel and new technology. The air show will run until November 16th and is expecting over 70,000 visitors.
Over 1,000 cataract patients in Guilin in South China's Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region have received free surgeries at a training hospital. The patients were from low-income backgrounds. China Report has the story. This is the third time the training hospital called Sinopac Bright has gone to Guilin. Sinopac Bright is one of the 4 training hospitals that China has launched for patients who live in remote areas. 67-year-old Chen Meiyun was diagnosed with a cataract 2 years ago. The patient was impressed with doctors' skills and generosity after receiving the surgery for free. Aside from performing surgery, doctors working on the training hospital are also helping to train local ophthalmologists.
After all these years training, my skills for performing cataract surgery have greatly improved. Now it only takes me 3 to 4 minutes to do the surgery.
Over the past 20 years, the training hospital has been to over 100 remote areas across 28 municipalities, provinces and autonomous regions in China. It has made over 180,000 cataract surgeries possible. Official data shows some 5 million Chinese people are living with cataracts, a figure that is increasing by 10% every year. Many of them live in the countryside and lack financial resources to seek treatment. The Kensington Wade Prep School is the first of its kind in Western Europe, offering immersive English and Chinese education for children between the ages of 3 and 11. China Report went to take a closer look.
Despite the focus on Chinese, children of any language background are welcome. Currently, there are 15 students in the prep school studying half the day in the English classroom and the other half day in the Chinese classroom. There isn't a word of English in the Chinese classroom, as books here are in Mandarin and laid out are traditional Oriental fans, scrolls, and artwork. Its headmistress is Joanna Wallace, who previously ran Putney High, one of London's high-performing private schools.
I think China is playing an increasingly important role in the world, and what we want for these children is to be able to, when they grow up, be able to understand, be able to converse with the Chinese, but also understand their culture as well. So we're not just learning the language here, we are very much a bicultural school as well.
With fees of £17,000 per year, the school also attracts an international group of parents. Wallace says the parents are mostly business people who are either working with China or understand the importance of Chinese. One teacher knows how British parents used to encourage their children to learn French or Spanish with one eye on holidays. However, now a rising number of parents are realizing the benefits that Mandarin can have on their children's future careers.
As the parents said, China is developing very fast, and they hope that their children could go to China to find business opportunities. As you can see, the parents consider things in an economic perspective more than a language. I think the strong development of China plays an important role.
The school's opening comes as part of wider push by the British government to get more children speaking Chinese. In 2015, the Britain's Department for Education launched a new £10 million initiative to expand Mandarin teaching in state schools across the country. Hundreds of pupils are taking part in the program, which aims to make at least 5,000 young people fluent in Mandarin by the year 2020.
A Chinese-American philanthropist has been recognized in New York after a career providing thousands of scholarships to college students.
Dr. James S.C. Chow is a Chinese-American merchant mariner, business leader, and philanthropist. On Saturday, he received the Dynamic Achiever Award from the OCA Westchester Hudson Valley. Founder of the Foremost Group, Dr. Chow has actively promoted values in education. Over 5,000 students have benefited from scholarships funded by the Chow family. In his speech, Dr. Chow emphasized the importance of education and dedicated the honor to his parents. Leading the praise was Dr. Chow's daughter, the U.S. Secretary of Transportation Elaine Chao.
Today, Asian Americans make up about 5.7% of our country's population. That's up from less than 1% in 1965. Americans of Chinese descent are about 24% of the Asian Pacific American population. And as tonight's awards reflect, more than half of Chinese Americans aged 25 and older have a bachelor's degree or higher. Our community has contributed so much to America, and our community will continue to contribute so much to an increasingly diverse America.
More than 160 pieces of carved Songhua jade have gone on display in northeast China's Jilin province.
The exhibit in Changchun, capital of Jilin, opened on Saturday with 168 pieces created by jewelers from China and Europe. Many accessories displayed are inspired by deer and panda, made of Songhua jade in rich natural color. Songhua jade is only found at Chiangmai Mountain in the province. There are only 28 tons of Songhua jade, which can be used for ornamental purposes. Buried under the land for 800 million years, Songhua stone has long been used by locals. The jiang was seen as national treasure until 300 years ago. It was used as inkstones for emperors or as an unword for successful officials. The material was not rediscovered and mined until the 1980s.
Inspired by the highly successful Singles' Day shopping spree in China, many of Norway's online retailers also launched sales promotion to celebrate the day. Take a closer look. Komplett, the biggest online retailer in Norway, launched the Single Days campaign that offered discounts on all the products on its website. Norway's online newspapers and many Norwegian online players have focused on the Singles' Day and believed this may be the start of something big also in the Nordic country. The newspaper also published a long list of various e-retailers that offer discounted products for Single Days campaign. Power, one of Norway's leading consumer electronics retail chains, said it has decided to celebrate Singles' Day this year and turn it into Singles Weekend. All promotional products will last until Sunday. However, the emergent Singles' Day sales campaign in Norway has not been confined to online space. Lefdal, one of Norway's biggest electronics and household appliance stores, launched a massive Single Days campaign both online and in its bricks-and-mortar stores. November 11th has been celebrated as China's Singles' Day since the 1990s. China's largest online retailer Alibaba introduced the Singles' Day shopping event in 2009, and it has grown to become one of the world's biggest shopping spree. It is known that the booming e-commerce in recent years has had a huge impact on traditional commercial property projects in China. However, Hong Kong investors are introducing new retail formats and concepts to deal with the challenges from online retailers.
Hong Kong investors are integrating historical sites with fashion street scenes and introducing performance, exhibitions, and lifestyles to modern malls. They see these as new opportunities for commercial property investments. HKRI Taikoo Hui, located at the core area of Shanghai's famous Nanjing Road trading area, celebrated its official launch day recently. In the spotlight is a historical building weighing about 3,300 tons. In order to protect the century-old European-style mansion, the staffs spent 8 months on planning the construction and finally finished the movement. The building had been moved as a whole by 57 meters. Meanwhile, in the eyes of some investors, the rapid changes of China's consumption upgrade also bring new opportunities to commercial property projects. It has become a trend that consumers can enjoy an artistic exhibition, a concert performance, and various activities while shopping. The format and concepts of malls are changing these years. The investors feel optimistic about the commercial market and hope to do more investments and attempts in the future.
It has been 2 years since Chinese President Xi Jinping's Thought on Diplomacy was put forward. It provides theoretical guidelines for China's diplomacy and offers China's perspectives for forming a new kind of international relations. Today we're taking a closer look at how Chinese approaches and solutions might help improve ties with major countries.
45 years ago, a group of Chinese ping-pong world champions traveled to the US, following the US's team's own historic visit to China in 1971. Tensions had characterized China-US ties during the Cold War, but normalization of relations was gradually made possible through ping-pong, an unlikely diplomatic tool. This September, athletes who experienced China's ping-pong diplomacy firsthand reunited in the US to celebrate the 45th anniversary of the Chinese team's first visit to the US in 1972. History tells us the world is more peaceful and prosperous when major countries live in harmony and work together in partnerships. China-US relations are seen as some of the most important in the world and are closely watched by the international community. Since the start of this year, Chinese President Xi Jinping and US President Donald Trump have maintained close contact on issues of common concern, drawing much international attention. On Wednesday, US President Donald Trump kicked off his 3-day visit to China, creating a significant opportunity for the two countries to strengthen bilateral cooperation. The visit is Trump's first China trip after assuming the US presidency and comes after the 19th CPC National Congress. Chinese President Xi Jinping said on Thursday the Sino-US relations are at a new historic starting point. During their recent talks in Beijing, the presidents agreed that cooperation is the only correct choice for China and the US, and a better future would only be achieved through win-win cooperation. The China-Russian relationship is also seen as a successful model of major country diplomacy. In the past 5 years, Xi has visited Russia 6 times and met with Russian President Vladimir Putin over 20 times at various occasions. During Xi's last phone conversation with Putin, the Chinese president said that whatever volatile changes may take place in the international arena, China will not change its determination to strengthen relations with Russia. Putin also said at a recent think tank meeting that Russia has great cooperation plans with China. As of September, a total of 500,000 tons of fruits and vegetables had been exported from China to Russia via Heihe, an important port in Heilongjiang province. The figure was up nearly 40% year-on-year. And on the 1st of November, China and Russia signed nearly 20 deals in various areas, including investment, energy and space exploration. China-Russia relations have been strengthened by these kinds of cooperations for years, offering an example of a harmonious partnership between major countries. China has also made its presence felt more generally on the world stage. In the past few years, it has hosted several international summits, attracting worldwide attention and kindling fascination for this old nation with a new vision. Host cities such as Beijing, Hangzhou and Xiamen have shown off their hospitality and dynamism at APEC, G20 and BRICS summits. Those summits have offered great platforms for the world to get a closer look at China, know more about China, and even revise their impressions of China. At these international occasions, China has also offered its own vision for reforming the global governance system and establishing a fairer and more equitable international order. In 2013, Chinese President Xi Jinping put forward the Belt and Road Initiative as a response to the new dynamics in China's internal and external environment. The initiative is aimed at advancing China's opening up, sharing China's development opportunities with other countries, and injecting strong impetus into global development. In September 2015, Xi proposed a roadmap of building a community of shared future for all mankind. The concept was incorporated into a UN Security Council resolution earlier this year as a recognition of China's contribution to global governance. China has also made great achievements in poverty reduction efforts. The country has set a target of eliminating rural poverty by 2020, 10 years ahead of the UN's target of eliminating poverty in all forms by 2030.
Many countries are now looking at China as a kind of a example for governments to have it both ways, to have centralized control with economic success, with growth and development. So to the outside world, this was quite a showcase of China's success story, building on Xi Jinping's leadership, building on the Belt Road Initiative, AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank.
With more than 40 containers on it, the cargo train bound for Chinese inland city of Xi'an departed Kovala in southeastern Finland on Friday.
It will take 17 days to run 9,000 kilometers to cross the Eurasia continent, passing through countries including Russia and Kazakhstan before reaching its final destination of northwest China's Xi'an. Compared with the normal sea freight, the cargo rail line can shorten the travel time by 30 days. Goods packed in the containers are all made in Finland, ranging from machinery, timber, workwear to ship components.
I'm convinced that this new Silk Road between Finland and China will prosper and flourish. The railway connection is environmentally friendly, fast and economically very competitive to the businesses.
As planned, a total of 5 trains would run between Kovala and Xi'an by the end of this year. At the same time, a train would depart Xi'an towards Kovala every week.
We are very pleasantly surprised to see that, through such a railway route, we have achieved communication among the 4 countries, which are China, Finland, Kazakhstan and Russia, the connectivity in facilities, the smooth flow of trade activities, the financial integration, as well as commonalities among the people. In other words, this is indeed a practical and fruitful cooperation.
Ambassador of Kazakhstan to Finland reminded the achievements of the Belt and Road Initiative.
In long-term perspective, it should be a vast platform aimed at bringing many nations together, expanding cultural exchanges, as well as making solid our educational, scientific and technological ties.
That's all for this edition of China Report. You can find out more on our website, yan.cncnews.cn. Thank you for being with us. Bye for now.
云天无际，承载梦想。中国南方航空是中国运输飞机最多、航线网络最发达、年客运量最大的航空公司。亚洲第一，全球第3，是南航缔造的业界奇迹。蓝天壮志情，云海谱华章。
同心地产，芝加哥最大的华人中介团队，无论是家居或是商业地产，给你带来全方位的最佳服务。
专业的团队，丰厚的经验。
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the Lake Cook Law Group.
投资理财、法律咨询，芝加哥专业律师团队为您的梦想提供最安全的保障。
This is Little Chinese Channel, 小小中文, Lesson 3. In this lesson, we will be teaching you these 6 Chinese characters. What's this? 人 means person. 女人 means woman. 男人 means man. Take 人 and switch that stroke with a longer stroke and make sure it pokes out. It transforms into 入 means to enter. 进入 means to enter. If we turn 入 back into 人, put a line under it, turns into 个 means individual or a measure word. 个人 means individual. 一个人，一个人，一个人，一个人 means one person. Make two rungs side by side. It transforms into 从 means to follow. 跟从 means to follow. Stroke like this. This one final horizontal stroke turns into 两 means two. 两个人 means two people. I'll teach you a new root character. What's this? 入 What happens if I make it a bit spaced out? 八 means 8. 80 means 80. 18 means 18. 八 is the building block of these two characters. That's right. Zhang means person. Ru means to enter. Ge means individual or a measure word. Cong means to follow. Yang means two. Ba means 8. Bye-bye. The lesson is done.